Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Courtney Lauren. For those of you who have been here before, nice to see you again. And for those of you who are visiting for the first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click that bell so you can get the notifications when I make a new post. Today we are going to be meal prepping. A lot of people that know me personally or on Instagram know that me and my husband are really big into fitness and our health. Usually I meal prep on Sundays. Unfortunately, this weekend I was a little bit busy, so I didn't get a chance to. So I'm actually going to be doing it today, which is Tuesday. I'm going to be making two different meals. Normally I do about 2 or 3 batches of meals that'll last us about a week or so. So this time I'm actually going to be making 2. Today I'm going to be making salmon with jasmine rice and asparagus, and then I'm also going to be making herb roasted turkey breast with sweet potato and broccoli. Usually when I meal prep, I try and keep our diet that we did together in mind, which consists of high protein, low sodium, low sugar, low carb, and low fat. So we both did this diet to lose weight. I had 2 kids back to back. A lot of people that know me know that. So I really went hard on this diet. I lost 15 pounds in the first month that I did it. So I don't do it as crazy as I did it before, but I do like to still incorporate a lot of the things that I learned from doing the meal prepping. So I'm going to be taking you guys along with me today so you can see how I meal prep, some of the seasonings that I use, and how I like to do my batching when I do my meal prep. So let's get started. All right, you guys, let's start meal prepping. So here I have a large slab of skinless salmon that we're going to be seasoning up in just a few. I have 2 packs of turkey breast. This is 99% fat-free. Turkey breast tenderloins is 2 in each pack. I have 6 sweet potatoes. I have 4 cups of jasmine rice here in my bowl. I have 3 bunches of asparagus that I already went ahead and washed and cut all those rough tips at the end off. I have a bag of broccoli. Usually I use fresh, but today I'm just going to do the frozen. And then some of my seasonings, I'm going to be using McCormick's garlic and herb, some Himalayan pink salt, some garlic powder, some onion powder. I also have some black pepper. I'm going to be using Himalayan pink salt, pepper and garlic, McCormick's, also some Slap Your Mama seasoning, and I have some fresh thyme sprigs that I'm going to be using for the turkey, and also I'm going to be using minced garlic today. I didn't feel like doing my own, so I'm just going to use the jar one. So we're going to start with the sweet potatoes. I have 6 sweet potatoes. I'm just going to take my paring knife and poke holes all throughout all the sides. You want to do this before you put the sweet potatoes in the oven. It allows the heat to get on the inside of it so that the sweet potato on the inside can cook. I like to put some foil down because when the sweet potato starts to cook, that sugar starts to seep out of those holes that we poked, and it just makes for an easier cleanup. We're going to go ahead and start seasoning up the salmon. I like to start with my olive oil, just a little bit, and then I like to just rub it all over the sides and the top of the salmon. And I'm going to go ahead and start seasoning it up. First, I'm going to go in with my Slap Your Mama seasoning. Remember, I am doing a low sodium, so I'm only going to use just a little bit of this, and I'm not going to use any other salt at all. The Slap Your Mama seasoning has salt in it, so that's all I'm going to use for the salmon. I'm going to go in with some garlic powder. I'm going to hit it with some McCormick's garlic and herb seasoning. Some black pepper. And some of our minced garlic. I'm just going to go ahead and take just a teaspoon and put that on there and rub it all in. And once I rub all that garlic in, I just like to go in with some honey and drizzle that right on top, especially with that Slap Your Mama seasoning. I think the sweet and the spicy go really well together. So now that the salmon is nice and seasoned up, we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven. My oven is on 400 degrees, and we're going to bake this for 15 minutes until that salmon is nice and cooked through. So next we're going to start on our rice. This is 4 cups of jasmine rice. I like to wash my rice first. If you have an easier way to do it, please do that. But I like to just put it in a bowl with some water with a spoon and just swish it around. This is wash number 1. As you can see, that water is very, very cloudy. That means the rice has a lot of starch on it, and we really want to get that off. The more you do this, I did it specifically this time 4 times. The more you do that, the water is going to start getting more and more clear. Once it's nice and crystal clear, that means that that rice is ready to go. This is actually my 4th and final wash, and I'm going to show you, as you can see, The water is clear. You can see straight to the bottom, and that means our rice is ready. So I'm going to drain that off. And then today I'm going to be using for the rice my Puerto Rican ironclad pot, also called a caldero. I use this for all of my rice and my Puerto Rican food. Before my husband introduced me to these pots, I could not cook rice to save my life. Like, the best you were going to get from me was the boil in a bag that you got from Walmart. So when I tell you that this pot changed my life, I'll link it down below. The rice is fluffy. It's the perfect consistency. It's just beautiful. And this pot, it does it every time. The rice will be ricing and it will be nice and fluffy. And I promise you, you're going to love it. So we're going to go ahead and add in 5 cups of water to our rice. And I like to just mix that around. If you can stand up a spoon, in your rice, that means you know that you have enough water to rice ratio. We're going to go ahead and season our rice with some salt generously. And we're going to add also about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. After you add in the olive oil, just go ahead and mix that around just to make sure that the olive oil and the salt is evenly incorporated. And we're going to cook this at a medium-high heat until most of the water is absorbed. Once most of the water is absorbed, turn that stove all the way low, cover it for 30 minutes, and your rice will be perfect. I went ahead and took the salmon out of the oven. It was in there for about 15 minutes and it is perfectly cooked. It smells amazing. And I also like to go ahead and just cut this up into portions. I got 6 portions out of this big slab of salmon, which is really good. You can mix this up for lunches or dinners too, which is really nice. So now it's time to season up our turkey breast tenderloins. I like to just put down some foil just to help with the cleanup. And first we're going to go in with some garlic powder. I'm going to be using some onion powder, some McCormick's garlic and herb, some pink Himalayan garlic and pepper, also with some cracked black pepper and some minced garlic. I'm just going to put a little bit on each one, and then I'm just going to put some olive oil on top of each piece to help rub and lock in the seasoning. I like to season up my turkey breast very, very generously. This is 99% fat-free, which means there is no fat on this turkey at all. It is all lean. So the more flavor you put on it, the better it will taste. I'm just going to put that out there. The more seasoning you put on this turkey, the better it will taste. So let's go ahead and flip this over. We're going to do the same thing to the bottom that we did to the top. So just go ahead with all your seasonings, season that up, and then hit it with some more olive oil, rub that all up, and then that will be ready to go in the oven as well. I also like to throw in just a couple of thyme sprigs. It gives it really, really good flavor, and I try and cook with as many fresh herbs as I possibly can. And there we have it. That is our turkey breast ready to go. So now I'm going to start on the asparagus. I like to just get a large baking sheet. This is 3 bunches of asparagus, so I needed a pretty big baking sheet for this one. I just like to lay this out real evenly on there, hit it with some olive oil, and then I throw on some seasoning. I'm going to be using Himalayan pink salt, pepper, and garlic. I'm also going to be using some garlic powder. I'm going to be using Himalayan pink salt, just a little bit, and some black pepper. I also like to put some fresh garlic on this as well, just to give it some additional layer of flavor. So just put a couple of teaspoons of that on there, and then I just get my tongs and just move it all around just to make sure all the asparagus is evenly coated with the seasoning and the garlic and everything. And then I try and line it up as evenly as I possibly can after I'm done mixing all the seasonings up together. After this, I did go ahead and put my broccoli In the pot on the stove, I'm cooking this at a medium-high heat. I'm just going to steam it with some water, and then once that evaporates, I just add just a tiny bit of butter, a little salt, and some pepper, and that was good for my broccoli. The turkey breasts are done now. They were in the oven for about 20 minutes. They're perfectly cooked, and they're still juicy. You definitely don't want to overcook your turkey because it will become very, very dry, and you definitely don't want that. So since our turkey is out now, one thing goes out, another thing goes in. We're going to go ahead and put in that asparagus. And I like to just cut up my turkey into portions while everything else is still being cooked. Look at this, y'all. Look at that. Look how juicy this is. Look at that. I got 6 portions out of this turkey as well. So between the salmon and the turkey, we are up to 12 meals, which is really, really good. And here's the finished product. It's nice and sliced up and ready to go. So our rice is done now. It's been cooking for 30 minutes on very low. My stove was on a 1. I just wanted to say, when you do cover up your rice to start cooking it, make sure you do not lift that lid for that full 30 minutes. You don't want any of that steam to escape because that's what's going to cook your rice. My rice is nice and fluffy. It was perfect consistency. I mean, it literally was perfect. I'm telling you, this pot, once again, I'll link it down below. This pot, you guys need this pot if you want beautiful, fluffy rice like this. Our asparagus is also done. This was in the oven for about 15 minutes as well. This is how I like my asparagus. I know some people like to eat theirs a little bit more done. Some people like theirs crispy. This is how I like mine, just bright green and with like a little bit of a snap to it. And our sweet potatoes have been in the oven for about an hour and 15 minutes or so. I'm just going to go ahead and slice those down the middle to let some of that steam out. Don't be like me, y'all. Wait for it to cool down because I was burning my fingers all the way up trying to open these things. And once I slice them down the middle, I like to just kind of push them to pop them open a little bit. They were super hot, so it was a little bit hard for me to do. Wait for them to cool down. Don't be like me. Your fingers will thank you later, I promise you, because mine was burnt up. But now everything is done. Our turkey is done. Our broccoli is done. Our salmon is done. Our rice is done. Our sweet potatoes are done. And also our asparagus is done. Like I said, you can mix and match this stuff. You have 2 starches, 2 proteins, and 2 vegetables, so you can mix this however you want. And these are the containers that I'm going to be using today. I'll link them down in the description box. These are the ones that I actually use all the time. And I'm just going to go ahead and start building my meals. Like I said, you can mix and match this however you want. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!